I have Downtown Boys in the building. These guys have literally worked with the likes of freaking Gee. You guys are freaking awesome, by the way. You guys work with Gee. You guys had interviews with Pitchfork, Interview Magazine, New York Times, and so many more interviews. And now you guys are here on Time and Temperature. Thank you so much for stopping by. What's up, guys? Say hi to Downtown Boys.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
Hi.
Thank you. So just real quick, let's just get everyone's names. You guys are Downtown Boys, but I just want a first name basis for our chat. So you can start it.
I'm Joey DeFrancesco.
I'm Victoria.
I'm Joe.
Mary.
Joey.
So we have three Joeys. Joey, Joe, and Joey again. And then we have Victoria and Mary. Guys, thanks again for stopping by. Tell us a little bit about Downtown Boys.
We are a band from Providence, Rhode Island. We play rock music. Some people call it punk music. It's sort of loud music. And we talk about a lot of political issues. We try to get kind of deep with our shows into what's going on systemically in our country, around the world, and in our personal lives, and hit into that with our music. So we just put out a record called Cost of Living, and we're on tour with that. So that's why we're in Atlanta right now, as we're playing here tonight. Just
Yes.
Stop by beforehand.
Yes, you guys are super awesome. I wanted to know, how did you guys form the band Downtown Boys? Like, how did you guys all meet? Did you guys go to school together?
No, that's what's so wild is, we all kind of met in Providence, and Joey here was in a band called What Cheer Brigade, which was a big, 18-piece brass band.
Yeah.
And they would play, a lot of protests and play all kinds of different music spaces, and they could because they didn't require electricity.
Yeah.
But then he got it in his brain to start a political rock music band. And I was just his friend and made the poster and the patches for the first few shows.
Yeah.
And then I asked him to help me start a band, and he said I should just be in this one. And then we all basically joined as fans of the band.
Really?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I was a fan of the band.
Fan of the band.
Fan
Hashtag,
of the band.
put that in chat. Hashtag fan of the band. I love that. So how did you join, Mary?
I was also a super fan of the band.
Yeah, and you just rolled up to Joey and hey, Joey, let me in the band.
Yeah.
We rolled up to her.
They rolled up to me,
Yeah.
but I was a super fan, and every time I saw Downtown Boys, I would be in tears.
Really? Wow, that's awesome. That is freaking awesome. So you guys are with Sub Pop. How did that venture come about?
I think Victoria tweeted at them, and they took her seriously.
Really?
That was the bow of
Yeah.
the present.
Yeah.
But it was years of just working really hard. And we had put out a record on Don Giovanni called Full Communism.
Yes.
And we toured with that record for a few years actually, and kind of all made a lot of sacrifices with other things that we were doing, and not being able to be at home or in our local communities and being out there on the road. And I think Sub Pop saw that we had worked hard and we cared about the message, and then we had this tweet where I asked them how to apply to work for them.
Yeah.
And then they emailed us and were like, you'd be into that?
That is freaking awesome. I love hearing stories when just bands and just musicians kind of get picked up and signed by a label, because that story I feel like helps tons of musicians that's out watching and that wants to kind of be on a label and let their music be heard. I wanted to know, because you talked about Full Communism and you guys had a project before, self-release, Downtown Boys.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, did those two projects help prepare you for your new project, Cost of Living? How did that preparation come about?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've just been a band for so long, and me and Victoria and different manifestations of the band have been writing songs for such a long time now. Going on 6 years, I guess, this year, just about. So it's been a lot of developing songwriting, playing, developing just figuring out how to work together and all of these things. So hashing that over a couple records, and then having the last 2 years, really since our previous record came out, to write this one and think about how we wanted to realize it.
Yeah.
It was probably kind of the most intentional we've been about making a record, because before that it was just kind of we didn't know how much our band could continue, so it was just like, you know, you're just kind of slowly writing songs, and then it's like, oh, we have 10 songs, let's make a record out of it. But this one was like maybe slightly more intentional.
Yeah.
But yeah, it came out of a lot of background work and development.
That is awesome. Jenny, do we have some questions from chat right now?
We do, actually.
Awesome.
So Shively Humperdinck asks, who can scream the loudest?
That's a good question. I like that.
We could. Do you have like a decibel meter in here?
We have Mason. Mason, can you do that? All right, we got Mason back there.
I'll do
Take
my
it away,
best.
guys.
I'll use the same mic, like,
How about
like gain-wise.
Okay, it's set up. We have our decibel
Yes,
meter.
we have Mason. Mason, he's gonna track you guys.
Okay. I don't want to like scream into your face here.
Just let it go. I'm ready for it. Just go.
All right, here we go.
We got Victoria.
Grandma!
You didn't even know you were in the pit!
That's awesome. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and take a request from chat, and we'll come back with more questions for you guys. Chat, if you
He's
guys
gonna have the results too.
Oh
right?
yeah, he's gonna have the
Okay,
results.
yeah.
We got you. We got trust me. We got you guys. So let's get to Cost of Living. Cost of Living is you guys' this new project that you just recently dropped. So let's talk a little bit about that. Who inspired you guys to drop that album? What inspired you guys to drop that album?
Hard to say any one thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of things, and I think it's the same kind of stuff that was inspiring our band to do our previous 2 records.
Yeah.
I think like whatever job you're in, you can find a way to speak truth to power and kind of challenge these systems in our country.
Yeah.
And we, you know, started being a band. We found we could like make some headway into different parts of the country, kind of help build community with this. And so we kind of started doing this as a band. And so I think it's just a continuation of that. It's like we're working as musicians, and like this is the platform we have that we
Yeah.
can use to continue making something, to make an emotional connection, a political connection. And so, you know, that's what we've been doing with it.
I really do love the message. I was listening to you guys' album for the past week, and I love the message. I really do, because it's empowering a group of people and just pretty much everyone to, like you said, to kind of stand up to power, and also gives, and it's encouraging them, encouraging everyone. I also wanted to know the writing on this album. It is deep as hell. I wanted to know, what is that process like with everyone? Who writes all of the music for you guys? Is it a collaborative effort? Is it just one person writing? How do you guys brainstorm on writing?
I think it's really hard to be in Downtown Boys if you're only in it for like just music. Like I think anyone who's like been in the group or has helped move the group forward, we're all like constantly pushing ourselves and trying to think about the world and the context that we're making music and art in.
Yeah.
And so then the music is like a vessel, and it gets filled by sort of your relationships to your context.
Yeah.
And so the writing of like the instrumentation was all done by Joey. Mary wrote a song, and then we have a cover, which I guess isn't released yet. And then the words are written, Joey and I write the lyrics together, and Mary and I wrote lyrics on a song together. But the words and like the messages are just kind of codes for, I think, what like, you know, anyone who can hack being in the band believes in, because it's like, I think that it's speaking to something, and this album I think gets a lot more like personal than maybe the other albums get, which is hard because you know, being on a bigger record label, in a good way, we're like a smaller fish in a bigger ocean.
Yeah.
And we're really trying to break out of any sort of like boxes with like dogmatic principles. Like the punk scene can have, you know, a lot of punk principles, lots of genres can.
Yeah.
And I think that like, you know, all of us are going for something like beyond what any box that's already been built.
Yes.
And that's like really scary.
Yeah.
And so like the album and the writing, I think, wanted to address having to confront like swimming in these sort of like infinite oceans when you have so many institutions, so many people, so many just expectations put on you, put on your body, put on your ancestry, put on your future. and it's really easy to let those kind of hold your head underwater.
Yes.
But I think that, the album is about always finding a way to like come up for that air, and then simultaneously having that water all around you and getting through. So I think it's like more of a personal album, which is hard, I think, when it gets critiqued as purely, a punk manifesto or just purely a protest chant, because it has like layers to it. I think we wanted it to have.
I love that. And the only thing that comes to mind is like, I'm thinking you guys are just kind of outside the box. You're not conforming to, I guess, the stereotypes of punk rock music. You guys are kind of taking it and just evolving it in your own way, and I really do respect that. I wanted to talk a little bit about Guy. Guy. So we have Adam, one of our my coworkers, Adam. He works in the art department, and he's like, asked him about Guy Picciotto. How did that come about? Because he helped. You guys teamed up with them, and he helped kind of produce the album. So can you guys talk about that a little bit?
I mean, I've always been a big fan of his work with Fugazi, and I think Mary had asked Allison about producing the record, and she recommended Guy, and he said initially he couldn't do it, but then Victoria sent him a message pretending like we didn't hear that.
So did he write a couple songs, or he just kind of like help you guys tell the story?
That's the perfect way of putting it, because he didn't write any of the songs.
Yeah.
But it was almost like he instantly like knew what we wanted to say.
Yeah.
And helped us figure out how to tell the story exactly.
Yeah. Victoria, your voice on this album, I kind of pictured it as like a megaphone, because I was reading also about you guys. Some people, they were saying you guys make protest music. And I just took that, and I'm listening to it. I'm like, her voice sounds like a megaphone. And because you guys are, in a way, protesting against a lot of different things. And also, you're singing in Spanish and English. Why the choice to go bilingual for this album?
Yeah, I mean, I think that when I joined the band, Joey had written all of the songs up until when I joined. Yes. And we put some of them, like the first week I was in the band, we put like 3 of them into Spanish. So it was pretty immediate that we wanted to do that. And I think right now in this country, I mean, especially doing this show after yesterday and the DACA decision, I think that, we're seeing a lot of decisions being made by white supremacists right now in our country. And it's because white supremacy's always been so bold, in this colonized country. And Spanish obviously is a colonial language, but it's a national language. Millions, hundreds of millions of people in this country speak Spanish. And so we need to normalize that, and we need to realize that that is a part of so many people's identities. And especially if you're part of the working class in this country, people who probably only speak Spanish. Yeah. And then I think it was really special. For me, it's always special because as I'm born in the United States, and as a Mexican American, there's an identity called a pocha identity. So it's kind of you're never white enough, you're never brown enough, you never speak English well enough, you never speak Spanish well enough. You're always kind of living in these multiple worlds and dimensions. Yeah. And probably a lot of people can feel that, depending on where you're coming from. And so I think that was also a way to reveal kind of that aspect of the world through our music. Because that's part of what probably a lot of us in the band and beyond are feeling.
Yes. Who influenced you guys musically? I just want to kind of go down the couch musically. Who influenced you, Joey?
A big one, though the connection might not be immediately obvious on a record, is MIA, and we're getting to play a festival with her in a couple weeks.
That's dope.
I mean, not back to back, but she's on the same day as us. But so anyway, in the van today, it was a 6-hour drive, and I was driving and just played her entire discography, which I hadn't done in a while, and I was like, damn, this is so good, and this was so important to me when I was 19, and still is now, and what she's doing is still important. So I don't know, that's one person for me.
MIA, that's dope, man. That's cool. What about you?
Sun Ra Orchestra is a big one, just kind of that disciplined chaos. And then Selena, Bruce Springsteen's another big one for lots of people in the band. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kendrick Lamar, Pink Wash, Screaming Females,
Yes.
Priest.
Yes, you are. Yes. Yes.
El Lado Negro, Samus.
What about you, Joe?
Yeah, definitely Springsteen's been a big performance inspiration for me. Yeah, Fugazi. I've been real into Buffy St. Marie lately. But yeah, those are my top 3 right now.
Top 3. What about you, Mary?
Probably my biggest influence is Yoko Ono.
Yes.
Yeah, especially like her first 3-4 albums are really influential to me. I love Yoko Ono. I love Sneaks. I love Rihanna, Kendrick. A lot of artists that are current now too. We love Sheer Mag.
Yes.
Yeah, but I love Yoko Ono so much.
Aw, that's awesome. Joey.
Pretty much Rage Against the Machine and Frank Ocean. Pretty much only listen to Frank Ocean these days.
You guys are awesome. I love that you guys as influencers is just all over the board. It's just not one specific genre. And that's, to me, surprising. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just shallow as hell. But I think that's freaking I think that's freaking awesome that it's all over the board. And like, you guys are doing great work in the music. I love the message. Like, you guys have this song called Somos Chulas, No Somos Pendejas, which pretty much saying we're cool, right? Not assholes. How did that song come about?
Well, that's when, like, you know, you'll hear the word chula like all the time, and like get chula, like when someone's just kind of like being their best selves and like truly like shedding your self-hatred, you know, like you're a chula, and like it's powerful, and it's like inside of all of us to do, you know, and it's about like vomiting up that colonialism, you know, and but like it's so often seen as like like you don't know what you're doing, you're not doing it right, you're not following what you're, you know, what the way it's supposed to be done, and like you'll hear like pendeja or pendejo, like you know, dummy, just kind of like, and it's just a way to put you down. And oftentimes, like, when people think you're a threat to their status quo, to like their reality, they're not actually gonna engage you in, you know, duking it out in a real way. They're just gonna make you hate yourself more.
Come on, that's what I'm talking about.
And so it's like about taking that away.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, Jenny.
Yeah.
Do we have questions from chat?
They were asking when we were going to decide the winner of the Scream contest.
We're gonna hold off on
You're
that.
gonna hold off on
We're gonna
that?
hold off
Make 'em
on that
watch.
because I actually have a make them watch. Let's see. Thank you.
Should we do a
Joey.
rematch?
Yes. Someone wants a rematch. I want you guys to teach me how to scream as well. Do we have a question other than that one?
Someone says, I wonder how many of these kiddos are Stereolab fans. Do you guys like Stereolab? That's the only question we got.
Oh, that went right over it.
I like
band?
Broadcast.
Okay.
Oh yeah, me too.
I love Broadcast.
Yeah, broadcast is good.
One of my favorite records is Emperor Tomato Ketchup, the Stereolab record. I love it.
All right, cool. So, hey, Jenny, can you cue up a Downtown Boys request?
Yeah, I was gonna do that. Let's start off this next set with Lips That Bite by Downtown Boys.
That's an Adult Swim single, by the way. Guys, we'll be right back. As we are back, this is Time and Temperature, and we're here with Downtown Boys. They have a show tonight. You guys have just invited me to your show.
That's right.
Super excited. I'm definitely going. So that should be dope. I'm looking forward to that, and I'll play some clips later on Time and Temp. Real quick. So we talked about cost of living. We talked about you guys' show, who influenced you. I just want to know, what do you guys do to relax? Like, what do you do to relieve some stress?
No, I'm laughing because sometimes people ask this question. I feel like I never have a good answer.
Yeah.
I still don't. I'll pass.
I love to eat ramen.
Steph, our
Yeah.
switcher over here.
Love ramen.
So just gotta share the spot.
Yes,
Atlanta.
she loves it.
And I really like to read, like, I like to read, even if it's just like 15 minutes or whatever, like, and then recently I've been trying to like pray more or just, meditate.
I like that, Joe.
Yeah, I like to be underwater. That helps.
We got a fish tank out
Yeah,
there.
I think I might go spend some time there for a minute.
Mary?
I like the ocean.
Yoga's been pretty great lately.
Yes.
Yeah, getting enough sleep.
Yeah. That's awesome. Real quick, because you guys have to leave, I saw a picture with you guys wearing lipstick. So I wanted to see if you guys would take a picture with me wearing lipstick. Before you guys go, you have a show tonight. Can you tell everyone where's your show? What time does it start? And what's the next stop?
The show tonight is at Purgatory at the Masquerade. It's a smaller club within Masquerade. Doors are at 7. Tomorrow we're in New Orleans at Gassa Gassa. And then we're like everywhere else in this country also for the rest of the month. So.
And we wanted to give a really big shout out to a band who has 2 best friends in it. Well, I think they're all probably best friends, but 2 best friends in particular from Atlanta, Georgia. The band is called Algiers, and they just came out with an album called The Underside of Power on Matador Records, and it's incredible. And they also do a lot of writing and have a really big voice about power, music, race, and how to build something new.
I love that. Any advice to talented individuals out there wanting to follow their dreams? Is there any advice you guys can give them before we get out of here?
I say just keep doing it. Like, it took us years and like playing for nothing to get to a position where anyone cared at all about listening to us. So I don't know, it's like really hard, like any job, and just like keep doing it and like taking it seriously, and, hopefully it works out.
I mean, think about ways where the things you say can make a positive change in people's perceptions. That's my advice.
Stay authentic and genuine to who you are and what you desire.
Cool. Guys, chat, Jenny, any quick questions from chat before we go? That's it?
They just said the show just became incredibly sexual.
Oh, yes, very sexual. Now, I did my audition. Go ahead.
I don't know what show they're watching.
The fish show?
Are you watching other tabs on your...
They got another.
And follow up, they said I'm watching the stream in the shower because of all of this lipstick.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't get
I just
that
read
reference.
the chat.
I don't get that reference.
We never picked a winner.
Yes, I was going to
Yeah.
do that because I auditioned. I was holding off.
Okay.
So when I auditioned,
I have to see also.
yeah. So Mason.
Yo.
Mason's the judge. Drum roll. The Downtown Boys scream off.
I'm giving it to Joey on the right here.
Joey!
The end here.
All right, cool.
Congratulations, Joey
you.
Dubek.
Guys, thanks so much. Guys, chat, follow Downtown Boys on social media. You can visit their website, downtownboys.net. You can follow them on Instagram at the Downtown Boys, on Twitter, Downtown Boys. For more information, go to their site. Thank you guys so much for stopping by TNT. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to these guys. And keep on kicking butt. I appreciate that.